Howdy friends, Guthrie Trapp here, back on the old YouTube. Hey man, this ear infection stuff has got me behind, and it's been a week or so before I've done a video. About to go out of town and do a clinic in Raleigh, North Carolina, and then at the Down Home with a little performance there in East Tennessee as well. And then I'll be back on track. Should be pumping out some more videos real soon. I wanted to do something a little different today, and also I always like to say this: thanks so much for all the positive feedback and all the great comments. Really appreciate it. It's uplifting and inspiring and means a lot to me. And glad that there's been some progress made. I think people are actually learning something here, so that's really great. I am too, always. You can always, I gotta say this, check the comments below if you want to book a private lesson with me here in Nashville or on Skype. Always happy to do that. And also check out ArtistWorks, which is a great online platform that we did that's goes over a bunch of great stuff in depth and all that stuff too. So check that out. I want to do something a little different today. I want to do a little rhythm stuff. I'm kind of going to just do this kind of like funky kind of rhythm thing, but I just want to show you how I'm not latching onto these giant chords. Again, I'm using the shapes that we're learning in the cage system and all that stuff, and all the A7 and different chords that I'm going to use here in a second. But I'm not bound to these big chords. I'm using some of the bass notes and then 2 and 3 note chord stuff to really keep the rhythm stuff as interesting as I can. So an example of that would be something like this, and I'll just improvise. And then I'll get into a little bit of what I'm doing with that. So it'll be something like this, That's kind of an idea of just some kind of funky bluesy rhythm that I like to do, and it's busy, yeah, but it's fun and it keeps it interesting. Like it all depends on the song you're playing. You might want to stick to a more straight pattern. If it's like there's vocals or something going on there, you want to keep it a little bit less busy. I guess an example of that would be something like like if you go. If I'm playing like it's also fairly busy and got stuff going on, but it's not. It's a little bit more of a part. I'm kind of sticking to the same thing and not jumping around as much. So with this kind of style, I love playing this kind of stuff. Again, I like to use like a Fender medium style pick. I use the rounded edge of it, and I'm holding it to where it doesn't fall out of my hand, obviously, but I'm also not clenching it real tight because you just get a hard sound that way. I'm really just letting this thing kind of float across the strings. My right hand's real loose. I'm letting my little finger and my ring finger kind of just dangle here on the pick guard and kind of brush across it there. It's adding some stability there. It's a guide, but it's not like I'm not anchored to it like this. It's kind of floating back and forth. I'm just keeping this real loose as far as the tension in my arm goes and all that stuff. Now, as far as rhythm, you want that to be tight, obviously. Timing, whole different deal. But with that being said, I'm kind of hitting all the strings sometimes, and this is tricky because I say that, but you're really targeting. Actually, you're targeting the strings that you want to hit. So if I play this, if I go. So I'm hitting the bass note, A, and then I'll get into what I meant about all the strings in a minute when we talk about some more funk stuff, but I'm going A, I'm hitting the the E and the B string, and then a D shape, and then I'm going to play a C shape, but I'm going to hammer that on to make an A7. So that's the lick right there. And you kind of, you know, the time will be like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. So what you're doing there is you're kind of creating that little simple part. So I'm starting simple, and then I'm adding to it. I'm adding these riffs and stuff to it. So and you can even go more simple, I guess. You could go let's see, that's tricky, but I think that's a good place to start right there. So what I'm doing is A bass note, a high part of that triad right there, just the E and B string on the 5th fret, D shape, B, G, and D string, C shape, and then hammering onto that A7, which is just B string, G string, and D string. So, and then I'm going right out of your pentatonic. So just, and that creates that caps off that phrase. So. Do this. I did this a second ago almost. It's not minor, but it's not really major either. I'm just hitting on that part. This part's major, dominant 7. But this part, that should just be. Now what I'll do is I'll embellish that and I'll add this. Something like that. So let's see. So that's a little lick you could throw in there. So that's like a Steve Cropper kind of lick where I'm using the these I'm not sure what to call them. Some people call these 6ths, I guess, but it's your 7th fret, E string and G string together, and then I'm sliding up. I'm looking at this A shape, so right back to my A. So, and I'm muting that B string. You don't want to hit the B string. You just want to hit these two. So the B string is muted by my ring finger. I'm just kind of letting that hit it, you know, inadvertently muting that. So. And then I'm back to my triad right here. Now that I am gonna play that as a major. So you just want to make sure it's real clean, and it is. I'm playing it pretty tight, like it's you know. Trying to keep that rhythmically in the pocket, you know. So a couple other things I'll add here. When I go when I'm getting into this, I did it earlier, so let's see if I can do it again. I love that because it's kind of getting a little funky there. So I'm hammering from my D shape triad, B, G, and D string. So I'm hammering to make a G chord right there. D to G. And I'm not changing chords, I'm just using that to embellish this rhythm. We haven't changed chords yet. We're just on A so far. So that's now that that right hand, man, this is really good practice for this stuff. So another thing you can do is when you did this, you can also do that as you can do it as an A7. The point I want to make here is all these little riffs and licks and stuff that you're doing, these rhythmic embellishments, they're meant to be like it's like your alphabet, or you're pulling from all these different things and intertwining them. That's the same with licks and everything on the guitar. You're creating this vocabulary to be able to pull from. Like every time I pick up the guitar, I don't invent new stuff all the time. It's fun to and nice to be able to do that, but we all have our limits. I mean, you know, and stuff that we fall back to, stuff that we've used for years. So don't feel like you gotta, you know, be like improvising all this amazing stuff all the time. We all have stuff that we go back to, and we're all human, right? So that's what I'm doing. I'm just using stuff that I've developed over the years that works, and I've stole from other people that I think is kind of funky and cool, and I'm just throwing it all in. So the most important part to this, though, is to make sure you keep the rhythm going. So when you're practicing this stuff, make sure you're playing to a drum machine or a click track of some sort to keep you honest, because your time will float around. I mean, it just does. And the metronome and the drum machines and stuff like that, they don't lie. The batteries aren't going dead. It's you moving around. Trust me, I know. I mean, it happens to me all the time. And you don't want to practice with a metronome by yourself so much to where you get stiff. You want to be able to play with other people and not have that click going on too. It's good practice, but not something you want to. It's just something you want to have a nice balance with. So, getting back to these little ideas, you know. So I'm hitting the bass note to bring it back home. Hitting the bass note, the high part, little higher register of the chord, and then some little stuff in between, little embellishments. D9, which is a great funk chord and blues chord, and I'm just, man, when I go to that D9 chord, I'm hitting all the strings, and I'm just trying to keep that as funky as I can. That right hand is just non-stop, you know. Might put a little walk up. You can always walk chromatically up there. Trick where you're just adding a whole step up from here, 5th fret to 7th fret on the high E string only. You don't want to hit the B string, you just want to do this. So this would be like this, and I'll get more into this stuff too. I want to do a bunch of rhythm stuff. But so I'm just nailing that D9. You can always do that. So here's my D. You can always throw that in. You can even throw that lick we did in a minute ago. That works too. So, you know, any kind of little lick like that. I mean, I'm kind of being redundant on the lick, but that's like, it's really cool to be able to play the chord, because nobody wants to just play that all the time. I mean, they want to do something in there. So these little things, you know, you can go up there to that chord. Like that to kind of just starting to get out of the box a little bit. We go to the E chord. keep it funky. So right there, that works too. And also this chord here is really great. And I'm jumping around a lot too, but and I'll get more specific on this. Just wanted to get something out to you guys. But here is a great chord, and this is like the Freddie King chord. Now we've kind of gone to E. We're in E for a minute here, but this chord's really great. It's like if you take you're in E, but play a D chord here. Now it's a combination of this D chord and that E chord. So I'm gonna play the D, but I'm moving this to make my major third of E. Right there, it's gonna be on the 9th fret, 5, 7, 9, 9th fret B string. And then my little finger's going on the 12th fret E string. So that's what this chord looks like. And then you can add, if you raise so it sounds like this. Really cool chord. It's an E7 chord. And then when your first finger goes up a half step, you get this really cool kind of sus thing. So you can do this. Off track, but right here, this chord, this is a lot. I'm going to teach this probably in another lesson, but this is a cool thing you can do. So I'm basically playing this in chords. So all this stuff here. I'll show you these chords in another lesson because I'm about to wrap this one up. But this is just gold. I love this right here. So there's a little rhythm stuff. I'm going to probably do another lesson and break this down and really show you more of these chords and really get into the more specifics of this. But just wanted to start kind of maybe heading down this path a little bit for the next video or so. And who knows, I might do something in between or whatever. I know I'm kind of random with this. But thanks so much, friends. Really appreciate it. If you're in Raleigh this coming weekend, come see me. Otherwise, or in Johnson City at the Down Home. Otherwise, looking forward to seeing you on the YouTube. And if you come in Nashville, holler at me, man. We'll hang and go drink some wine and eat some dinner. All right, take care, friends. See ya.